12, 13 bodies in the 6-yard box by the time Saliba makes contact in there. It's so difficult to defend. And if you think about what the type of ball is put in, there's not an awful lot of pace on it. It's difficult for the defender to get real kind of distance on his header. So difficult to defend.
Arsenal have it. They made a bright start. Rice finds Odegaard on the right-hand side. Robinson snaps him at the challenge, but the ball breaks off him. Rice trying to hold up the ball. He's done very well there. Declan Rice to hold off the challenge. Right corner of the penalty area. Odegaard with the fair hair takes a return from Rice. Just couldn't quite clear his feet there and bring the ball under control. A little bit of a nibble of a challenge on him by Lukic, and it's one back for Fulham, and then cleared into the Arsenal half where David Raya, a few boos because he's a former Brentford player. Great rivalry between Brentford and Fulham. Came almost to the halfway line, Raya, and now he finds Saliba 10 yards to his right hand side. It's Partey. He opens things up by switching it back into the centre of the midfield, and here is Jorginho on the ball with his slate grey boots. Jorginho, speculation as to where he'll be next season, and you'll see a great deal of movement from Arsenal in the January window, not their way, as Leno boots it away now for Fulham towards Jimenez, and he's pushed into the back of Jorginho. It's a free kick, very quickly taken here, and Arsenal in possession.
Yeah, I think Jimenez is disappointed that only probably 90 seconds ago, 2 minutes ago, there was a push very similar on him, and the referee didn't give the free kick. He feels aggrieved there, and I have to agree with him, to be honest.
It starts in the week against Brighton. He has started 10 of their last 11 games. Jimenez. Arsenal busy on the ball, down below us, right-hand side. And it's Thomas Partey, foot on the ball, and rolls it back just 2 or 3 yards to Saliba, wearing sort of a turquoisey Under Armour into the heart of the centre circle. Jorginho, and he finds Declan Rice. He's not wearing Under Armour. You won't be surprised to hear that. He's got short sleeves on a bitter cold day. Not as cold as it was yesterday. I was at Brentford, and goodness me, that was perishing weather. I expect you were home somewhere because your game was off. You were going to go and see, you were telling me.
Yeah, I was due to go and watch Notts County against Colchester, and unfortunately for me, it was called off.
How many games do you watch in a week?
Probably 4, I would imagine. Yeah, there's always games to watch, you know that. Not as many as you, though.
Odegaard over the top, offside against Kai Havertz. Fulham beat Arsenal for the first time in 12 attempts in this game last season, looking to win consecutive league matches against the Gunners for the first time ever. It's a free kick here for Fulham, and Fulham, if they win this, can climb to the fringes of the top 4. I think they're 3 points off 5th coming into this. Very congested, isn't it, in that chasing group?
Yeah, it is. I think what it shows is that the teams just behind what the so-called kind of top 4, top 5 clubs are getting closer. There's some good squads being assembled here, and I'm a big fan of the job that Marco Silva has done. You know, he obviously brought Fulham back up, and they made some really good signings. The recruitment seems to be really on point, and probably a good example of that is maybe if you look at Sander Bergen there, and they lose Polini, and obviously big money, and replace him with somebody of equal kind of power and stature. Maybe not as good quality on the ball, but a really good replacement who's done really well in there.
Arsenal moving the ball really well. Those are the thoughts of Andy Reid on 5 Live. 6 minutes gone, now 7. It's 0-0. There's a buzz about Arsenal as Trossard finds Odegaard, right side of the penalty area, tries to roll inside. Traoré did well. So it comes back to Saliba. Then on the angle he finds on this right-hand side Saka. Robinson, who's had a very consistent season at left-back, is beaten easily. And Saka rolls it into the gap, and Odegaard is there. And Robinson has a little bit of a nibble, and Odegaard goes down. The referee says play on. Fulham have given it away to Jorginho. Jorginho finds Trossard on the edge of the penalty area. Tried to thread the eye of a needle with the ball to Saka. And Fulham clear, but they cannot get out. Fulham simply can't get out, not just of their own half, but of their defensive third, really. Partey has it, 10 yards in from the right-hand touchline, 0-0. Odegaard's to his right-hand side. Odegaard checks, keeping the ball tightly under control. Lovely left foot he's got. Now he finds Jorginho out to the right-hand touchline, or very nearly. Saka comes in off the line, low cross into the middle, and stabbed away by Bassett. Corner kick.
The real danger area, and we touched on it, is that right-hand side where you've got Saka and Odegaard, and then you've got Partey popping up, and you've got Havertz coming across. The amount of men that Fulham are having to commit to that right-hand side in the forward area, in Fulham's defensive area, it's too many, really. So when Saka goes past this defender, puts the ball into the box, they're very light in the box.
Arsenal scored in each of their last 18 Premier League encounters against Fulham since the goalless draw in 2009. We've got a goal in the WSL, Manchester City against Leicester. Mike Manet.
Yeah, 3-0 for Manchester City, Chess Park. Space opened up on the inside left. She ran into the box, fired it low into the left-hand side of the goal. We've played 4 minutes of the second half. Manchester City 3, Leicester City 0.
Manchester United beat Liverpool 4-0 earlier in that competition. That one finished not so long ago. Here comes that Arsenal corner. Then Saka in towards the near post where it is defended well by Big Sander Berger. And now Fulham will get it away. Only as far as Jorginho lifts a pass too high for Saka. Ironic cheers from the Fulham fans all around us. It's going to be a throw. Yeah,
we're nearly 9 minutes in now, and I don't think Fulham have been able to string probably more than 3 or 4 passes together. Arsenal really on it, keeping the ball really well, but as soon as they do give the ball away, the counter press is really sharp, and it's not giving Fulham any time to build any kind of momentum or structure in the forward play.
Fulham have it now on this left-hand touchline. Sasha Lukic, halfway inside the Arsenal half. Is about the highest up the pitch they've got in the entire game. Lukic with a bandage on his right wrist, I see. Comes back then to Bassi. Now out wide to Robinson, the USA international. Then finds Sander Berger. And tidily goes all the way back to Bernd Leno because there was nothing on, and finds the goalkeeper who won the Community Shield when he was an Arsenal player. Bassi inside his own penalty area. Pirouettes, turns away from Odegaard, looks for Leno under a bit of pressure there. And he rolls to the right-hand side of the penalty area, and Diop is there. Arsenal had 81% possession so far, thanks to our producer George Cummins for that note. He's very busy today, George, and he's been busy drinking and eating, and nice to see him doing some work. Here's Smith Rowe on that far side of the penalty area. Back it goes then to Leno. Leno clears to the centre circle, and Raul Jimenez was in there. Jimenez did well. Back to Smith Rowe, right-hand side. As a ball down the line by Tate. Jimenez attacking the Arsenal penalty. Cross wide for the knee. Totally against the run of play. He beat David Raya with a shot across the goalkeeper. He slaps his hands in frustration, maybe himself, but also the fact that his defence simply melted away. One ball by Tate. Jimenez through the channel. 1-0 to Fulham.
Yeah, it's a brilliant goal. Really is. It's the first time Fulham have been anywhere near Arsenal's goal in 10, 11 minutes of play. The first bit from Jimenez, he gets hold of the ball. Proper number 9 play. Gets hold of it, sets it off. And after that, he doesn't admire what he's just done. He makes a brilliant run into that inside channel. Tete slips the ball in, takes one touch, and he fires it into that bottom corner. Brilliant finish across Raya's goal. Raya couldn't get anywhere close to it. It's a really good goal. Touch out of his feet. Brilliant finish into the far corner. What's a goal?
Precision finish. I thought maybe Ryan might have been at fault with it live, but you look at the way he finishes this, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he's struck it really well, but I love the link-up play with him first. Real good centre-forward play in the initial bit. You need, when you're under pressure in a game like this against Arsenal, you need your number 9 to get hold of that ball, to give some of your players an opportunity to join up the play, and he did that brilliantly well, ended up finishing it fantastically as well.
And just over 4 years ago, let's not forget, he fractured his skull playing against Arsenal. Not only was his career threatened, his life was threatened. It's remarkable to see Raul Jimenez playing football and scoring goals like that, his 6th of the campaign. Fulham lead Arsenal by 1-0 on 5 Live. We will keep you up to date, of course, as we promised with all the other games. Leicester against Brighton, Ipswich against Bournemouth, the Leicester game on 5 Live Sports Extra, and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is also on Sports Extra. It's going to be a free kick here for Arsenal. Odegaard into that penalty area. It's punched down by Leno. Rice spot is over. It's going to be a goal kick, and we'll go over to Leicester City against Brighton and Charlie Slade.
Where 12 minutes have been played, it's Leicester 0, Brighton 0. A headed chance at each end. James Justin headed wide, as did Lewis Dunk at the other end of the pitch. Goalless.
Quickly on to Ipswich against Bournemouth. Aaron Paul.
First major warning for the home side, 0-0, but Milos Kerkez threaded into the box on the left. He fizzed the ball across goal. How Marcus Tavernier didn't get a touch on it with the goal gaping, I do not know. Ipswich 0, Bournemouth 0.
Goal kick to Fulham. You haven't missed a kick here at Craven Cottage, taken by Leno high through the middle. Jimenez comes from behind Saliba to challenge him. Saliba won it. The ball though went square, tidied up by Jorginho. That's what he does. He's a tidier upper in that midfield area. Now Partey from the goalkeeper's rollout. Look at the Fulham press here, Andy. keeping Arsenal into this little triangle segment down here, and they played out with a brilliant triangle.
Yeah, that was really good play. Really good play by Arsenal to get that.
Big challenge there in the midfield. It's almost as if they won the winning goal at Wembley with the challenge, the way the fans celebrate it. But it's Arsenal who collect now, trailing by a goal to nil. Kai Havertz crosses the halfway line, slightly left of centre, and out to Trossard. Trossard brings it under control. He has in support Joran Timber, who scored one of their goals in the week, of course, in that victory against Manchester United. Partey tries to angle it wide towards Saka. It's a poor ball dropped in short. Here's Robinson now for Fulham, steaming over the halfway line. Partey comes to meet him, won it very well actually, then lost his footing. Nudges the ball forward to Jorginho. He was pushed by Robinson. The referee says go on. Arsenal possession.
He's a real threat when he opens his legs, Anthony Robinson. You know, going forward, he stepped onto that really well, intercepted that pass and drove forward, and it was good defending by Partey in the end, who I think actually is a good defender. He's got a real defensive mindset about him, whether he plays in that full-back position or whether he plays in that midfield position. It's interesting to see Timber, who has been doing really well, being moved across to that left-hand side, and Partey playing in the right-back kind of area there. You see Timber, he's on the far side there, and he is a left fullback, I suppose, when you put a formation on paper, but he steps in and he makes an extra man in midfield, which frees up space for Declan Rice to roam about like he's doing.
Zinchenko today has an injury problem, not too sure what that is at the moment. We'll keep you up to date if we get any more news on that. They're keeping quite quiet, Arsenal. Let's go back to the WSL and to Chelsea against Brighton. Becky Ives.
Yeah, goalless at the minute, although Brighton almost found themselves ahead. Erin Cuthbert got caught in possession at the back. They were trying to play out from the back. Nikita Barres took the shot on for Brighton, and it was saved by Hannah Hampton. I have to say, when Chelsea have the ball going forward, they do look threatening, but nothing to show for it yet. Chelsea 0, Brighton 0.
Suspicion of an injury problem for Martin Odegaard. He's down on his, not quite down on his haunches. He's flexing his knees, hand down on those knees. He's okay. He'll go on. We'll go on to Arsenal against Aston Villa in the WSL. Emily Herbert.
Villa 0, 2 offside calls for the Gunners, and Villa a little bit sloppy with passing out wide, but have had a shot on target from Chastity Grant. 16 minutes in, it's Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 0.
Arsenal have it now. Training 1-0 to Fulham. The goal by Raul Jimenez, and it's Joran Timber finding on that left-hand touchline the fair-haired, short sleeve Trossard darts the ball towards the dead ball line on the left-hand side and races away from Timber's energetic burst, and just guided out of play at the back. Steady defending by Issa Diop, who just shepherded the ball out of play for a goal.
Yeah, he's a big boy. There's a lot to kind of get around or over or whatever way you want to try and get to him. You know, Arsenal have had a lot of possession. We know that that's going to be the case, and you know they've kind of looked up to maybe a three-quarter line on the pitch. They've looked reasonably dangerous, but they haven't had a chance yet.
Might do now from a poor clearance by Fulham. It's Saka into the box and Odegaard wriggling. Finding Partey between the penalty box and the right-hand touchline for Arsenal. To the captain again, and Odegaard has misplaced the pass. Emil Smith-Rowe gets a touch. He hasn't had many in the game. And now here's Adama Traore, muscular, broad-shouldered, huge biceps on him. Adama Traore had to build those biceps up and power in his arms because he used to have dislocation problems with his shoulders, remember, Andy, early on in his career. He's a powerhouse player, isn't he? But it's Fulham on the defensive again here. Trossard tried to nick it forward. It's blocked back there by Sasa Lucic, and Arsenal have to build on their left.
Yeah, Arsenal's full-on press is really difficult to break. You know, they press with 5 men across that front line, and they really pack out the middle. I'd be really tempted if I was Fulham to maybe miss out that press and go straight into Jimenez and get support up to him.
Here's Saka, again moving down the right-hand side. Saka to the dead ball line, cross to the far post, just glanced away by Diop, but the pressure is on, still here on that Fulham penalty area. Timber finds Jorginho then just rolls it back to Kyrgios, and Kyrgios finds that left-hand side. We've got a goal in the WSL. Let's find out where it is. It's Manchester City against Leicester. It's Mike Monaghan.
Yeah, 4-0 to Manchester City. Mary Fowler now getting her name on the collection of goal scorers this afternoon. Testing moments for Janina Leitzig in the last few minutes in the Leicester goal, but she couldn't keep out Fowler's half volley on the outside of her left boot. Manchester City 4, Leicester City 0.
Goal news from Arsenal Villa in the WSL. Emily Herbert.
Yeah, and it's gone to Arsenal. It's Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 0. It was Cooney Cross free kick, 12 yards out from the edge of the penalty box for Alessia Russo to head in to the back of the net. Her 4th goal of the season so far. It's Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 0.
Cooney Cross, good player, the Australian international, and also back in goal scoring form. After a dip, a little bit of a dip, things happened to her very, very quickly, didn't they, with his success in the Women's Euros, and went a little bit flat after that, but regaining a fine form now with the Arsenal. Arsenal men 1-0 down here at Fulham. They have possession with Thomas Partey. The Arsenal right back today turns in field, dangerously so, because Jimenez was there. Jimenez has created a new Fulham scoring record today. They've netted in 14 successive top-flight matches for the first time, beating the club record which was set 65 years ago. They have a free kick down below us, 5 live from the BBC. And a big week of football coming up, of course, with the turn of Champions League. Massive week with the Europa League, huge game, Rangers Tottenham in that on Thursday, the conference as well returning. Here's Traore. It will be the last round of European fixtures before Christmas, then they return again. Well, the conference has another round, but Champions League will be back in the new year. Arsenal have possession, a little bit of a tumble for Robinson. The Fulham fans howl for a free kick, and Arsenal have possession deep inside their own half with Jorginho. Yeah,
Robinson's tried to play a 1-2 there, and Saka stuck with him really, really well. Could potentially have been a free kick, but the referee didn't seem interested in it at all. You know, it's a couple of times he's done that on Fulham that they can potentially feel aggrieved with.
Arsenal have the ball on the left, 5 yards in from the left-hand touchline. Kiwior advanced and thought better of it. Rolled back to Timber in that inverted fullback position on the far side. He's got a central midfield player in there now. Partey out towards Odegaard, gliding into space as he loves to do, to Saka, 2 yards in from the right-hand touchline. Arsenal enjoying so much possession. No end product yet from them, they say. Trail 1-0. Saka, 10 yards away outside the penalty area, finds Timber. Then it's on by Kiwior, and a strong challenge by Diop leaves Havertz on his backside just outside the penalty area. And now Diop will clear it away. Looks for Traore, pass just short. Good for Arsenal indeed, because he would have been away, Traore. But now it's still Arsenal pressing against that packed penalty area. The middle of that area is so jam-packed. Into Saka in the penalty area, and he comes his cross, and it's hammered away by Diop inside the 6-yard area. Arsenal pressing.
Yeah, Saka's got so many ways he can beat. He can beat you 1v1, he can play 1-2s combination, but what he's also got is a lovely little come short to spin in behind, and the Arsenal players know that as well. He's done that really well. He's put a first-time ball across the box, and it was good defending by Diop in the end.
Still just 23 years of age, Saka, and he's played 245 games for the club. Goal at Ipswich, Aaron Paul.
Ipswich 1, Bournemouth 0. Lift off here at Portman Road, and it's a gorgeous finish from Connor Chaplin, all on his own, just inside the penalty area. He swept the ball left-footed past the despairing dive of Kepa Arrizabalaga. Ipswich 1, Bournemouth 0.
Bournemouth were very good against Spurs on Thursday, but behind there at rocking Portman Road, lovely ground, historic ground. Great to see Ipswich back in the top flight. Going to be a corner here for Arsenal on the right-hand side. Saka takes it, whips it into that near post touch. Leno sprawled. Leno got something on it. Clears to the edge of the penalty. Odegaard out wide then to Saka. Checks, gets a left foot looper to the far post, and that's easily dealt with by Leno.
Yeah, not a good second ball in from Saka, but the first one was really dangerous. Again, like we mentioned, not very much pace on it, just drifts into that near post area, makes it really difficult. And Leno done quite well to get something on it and clear it just far enough away.
Great rousing applause for Bassi, who dropped his shoulder and took it away from Saka like a matador with a bull. And now he comes across and fouls Saka, yard in from the touchline. 2 Fulham fans, one with a white bobble hat, the other with a black hoodie on, rise just inside this near touchline and protest to the assistant referee. But he won't change his mind. It's going to be a free kick for Arsenal. And I thought it was a foul. Odegaard will stand over it. And will it be his delivery, or will it be? Well, it won't be Kiwior, but I think Odegaard is giving the centre-back some sort of instruction there where this is going to go, and Saka will take it, which means it'll bend in from this near touchline. If he hits it with whip, it might just need a little glance in there, Andy.
Yeah, you aim towards the back post for it. If nobody touches it, that drifts in at that back post and wrong foots the keeper, because he has to gamble that somebody might get a touch on it.
Here he comes in, Saka, wearing gloves against the cool December day. Cool, it's Baltic. It's going to be a free kick comes in then from Saka towards that far post area. Again, safe pair of hands, Bert Leno, unopposed, goes to click it away very, very quickly. Look for Traore on the breakaway, but he miscued as he slipped and it went out of play for Arsenal, throwing down below us, right-hand side, 1-0 Fulham.
Yeah, he's looking at his boots there, isn't he? And I think it was the right idea, because if he gets that ball right, then Traore, with his pace and with his power that we've already mentioned, is pretty much through on goal, or at least going on a 1v1. So it was the right thing to do. He just didn't connect with it right. But again, more of the same stuff. Fulham just can't get through that Arsenal press. Arsenal dominating possession without really creating that chance.
So they look for Rice over the top here now, chased by Bassi. Rice on the volley, just wide. Left foot volley, wide of the far post. Goal kick. Fulham still lead by a goal to nil here at Craven Cottage on this grey and cold December day.
Well, if it had gone in, it would have been a brilliant goal. Declan Rice, we know how powerful he is and strong, and them runs from midfield, I love to see them. They're really good. So you see Havertz coming off short. He brings one of the centre-backs in with him, creates a little hole, and Declan Rice makes that run. It's a third-man run, makes that run through, bounces up nicely for him on his left foot, tries to volley across into the bottom corner. Unfortunately, just went wide of the post.
The goals, Leicester, Brighton, Ipswich lead Bournemouth by a goal to nil. Tottenham, Chelsea, the 4:30 kick-off is coming up live on 5 Live a little bit later on with John Murray with the commentary mic. Now here's Saliba to Declan Rice, having a look. What's on for him then? To his left, 2 or 3 yards away, is Timber, who jauntily brings it infield, back then towards Kyrgios, this tall defender who hasn't had the best of luck with Arsenal with injuries. Now Partey on the right touchline as they chase this 1-0 deficit. Saka with his white boots on, with the orange flash on them. Back it goes to Saliba. Other brands are available, but you know the ones he's wearing. Here's Odegaard. Expensive these days, aren't they? Football boots, goodness me, parents will tell you. Now on that left-hand touchline, it's Kyrgios finding Trossard. Trossard to dance down the line. Iwobi's there defending, doubling up with the fullback, and Trossard has neatly just gone beyond him. Iwobi digs in deep, but the cross comes to Saka. Awkward chance. Full volley, right foot slants it into the Hammersmith end of the ground. It was well wide, but it's a tricky chance, that.
Yeah, it was a difficult one to take, but it's the first time in the game, really, that we've seen Trossard. He gets 1v1 against Iwobi and thinks, yeah, I fancy a little bit of this. A lovely little bit of play, comes back, checks, does a little bit of a Cruyff, gets on his left foot and he whips a good ball in. Difficult one for Saka. Them ones are really difficult to deal with because they're just dropping over the fullback's head, and you kind of see them pretty late, and it was pretty wild effort in the end.
Fulham lead by a goal to nil. They're unbeaten in their last 8 League London derbies. On 4 drawn for it's the longest run in games against capital opposition since the early months of this century. Here's Calvin Bassey at the back now for Fulham in a steady season. He's not missed a minute in the league, but he'll have to defend here because Fulham pushed it out of play, and Arsenal have a throw in on the right, trailing 1-0, taken by Partey into the box. Odegaard tries to slip beyond his man Bassey, can't, but again the clearance comes to an Arsenal man. Story of the game. Fulham try and get it away, can't relieve the pressure because Arsenal pressing in great numbers. Have it back here with Saliba. Crossfield diagonal ball aimed at Trossard, who's going to struggle in the air against Kenny Tete. And earlier on in the programme you might have heard one of the boys in the studio asking how many 6-footers Fulham have in their lineup, because Arsenal like to have 7 giants. Fulham have 6 6-footers, and Kenny Tete, one of the lads in the studio, I think said he was a 6-foot. He's not. I hate to be pernickety, but he's 5'11", and 1 inch can make all the difference. Here's Jorginho. Jorginho loops the ball into the penalty area and away through, and the goalkeeper will save. Let's go to Ipswich again. Aaron Paul.
Ipswich on Bournemouth nil. The home side pushing for a second, and they've had a goal ruled out for a foul. VAR very quick with the decision. Cam Burgess with the header. It nestled into the back of the net, but it looked like both Burgess and Delac were causing infringements on a couple of the Bournemouth players. Bournemouth on the ropes a bit here. Ipswich on Bournemouth nil.
Let's speedily go on to Leicester against Brighton, and young Charlie Slater.
You're very kind calling me young. Brighton nil, Leicester nil, or the other way around. You've thrown me there. Brighton are well on top, though. A couple of chances. Raul Pedro's put one wide from 10 yards. Purpose of Stupinian had well saved from the edge of the box. Still 0-0.
Good ball up by Leno to Robinson, though, who's quickly under pressure from Partey. We've gone beyond the midway mark in the first half by some 5 minutes now. Arsenal have had all the bulk of possession. Partey's got it rolling in from the right-hand touchline. Poor pass into Trossard, a little bit frustrated, a little bit hurried. Fulham can now cross the halfway line with Jimenez holding it up. Took a tumble, no free kick. He was trying to release Smith Rowe. But what are Arsenal, with all this possession, what are they doing wrong, Andy?
Yeah, I just don't think they're penetrating as much as they do. You know, we've seen that run from Saka a couple of minutes ago. It's probably the only one that they've really tried to penetrate into the box. They need to get more runs in behind. They need to hold that space in behind a little bit. There's loads of intricate play, but Fulham are holding their shape really, really well, and it's becoming, I wouldn't say difficult for Arsenal. It's still pretty easy in terms of possession and territory, but to create that chance is just what they're lacking at the moment.
More goals for them today. They only actually need 4 more goals to equal the Premier League record of 86 scored in a calendar year. As Traore spins on the ball inside the Fulham half and accepts a give and go. A little 1-2 play with him by Sasa Lukic, and he has the chance to bring in Iwobi on the right-hand side with a crossfield pass. Iwobi applauds with his hands over his head. Alex Iwobi, the intent, not the execution, because let's be honest, Andy, that was a dreadful pass, goal kick.
Yeah, and it is the criticism of Traore. You know he's got that pace and power, and probably in that move, it summed them up perfectly, really. Does some brilliant work, a lovely little 1-2, gets into a really good area, chops back inside, and then that final ball then is a poor one for him, because Iwobi was in a great position. So that quality that he needs in that final moment, in that last little bit, is just what he lacks.
1-0 Fulham, approaching the half-hour mark. I wonder which of the managers you played under would have ripped it out of you most for a pass like that. Maybe you'll give me an answer in a minute. Here's Saka, miscontrols away by Diop. You have those who would have been furious at you.
A few were furious with me at times over the years, Jonathan. But I always had that bit where I was on the pitch where I tried to just ignore who was shouting at me from the touchline.
Always easier when you were on the far side from the dugout. Here's Partey. Right, touchline, throw in Arsenal. Partey trying to spring into it, no movement ahead of him. Suspicion of a foul throw, I thought, as he looked for Havertz. Threw the ball down, it's cleared away by Fulham. We lead by a goal to 0 with half an hour play. Multi-ball system we have here, so Partey can quickly get on with it. And down below us, a green Parker-clad Fulham fan tosses the ball to a steward. Stewards here on this near side, the Johnny Haynes stand side, sit down on little perches. They don't watch any of the football, they look up here at the crowd to see if there's any misdemeanors. He's got a beady eye on Andy Reid sitting next to me, just in case there's any misdemeanors from the former Republic of Ireland international. And he's also got his eye. I'd seen peering out George Cummings there, our producer, to the right-hand side. He knows the wrong one when he sees one. Here's Saliba, just outside the penalty area. Saliba into Jorginho. Halfway inside his own half. Jimenez plodding after him. Scored that fantastic goal for Fulham to give them the lead. Here's Rice busying himself in the midfield to Partey's dropped in there into a central position from right back. Odegaard's out here giving them width on the right because Saka's tucked in as well. Havertz comes towards the ball. All coming towards the ball at the moment, the Arsenal players. As Odegaard looks to his left-hand side, Timbers 10 yards in off the line, 10 yards inside the Fulham half. Shortsley puts his foot on the ball, that orangey boot he has with the white trim. Swapping passes with Kirill. Back to this tall defender. He finds Saliba to his right-hand side. Let's go to Manchester City, who are beating Leicester. The last we heard from Mike Money.
Yeah, and pretty comfortable as well, Jonathan. 4-0 up on Leicester 2 for Bunny Shaw, Jess Park and Mary Fowler, the other two. They are trying to get Bunny Shaw a hat-trick. A moment ago, she tried a clever little half-volley back heel on the edge of the 6-yard box that went just wide. They are comfortable, they're in control, they're back to winning ways in the WSL. City 4, Leicester 0.
Ironic cheers from the Fulham fans when Odegaard swings the ball looking for Trossard, and it just strips away for a goal kick, and while they pause to take it, let's go to Chelsea against Brighton at Kingsmeadow and Becky Ives.
It's still goalless, but you've got to say Brighton have had the better clear-cut chances in front of goal. They almost just got themselves ahead. Carabali went up for a header. It was a corner that came over, nodded it down low, but Hannah Hampton in the Chelsea goal saved it. Very quick reaction, but yeah, Chelsea 0, Brighton 0.
At Kingsmeadow in Kingstonian territory, Kingston, where the Kings of England used to be crowned. Let's go to Arsenal against Villa and Emily Herbert.
It's Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 0. Arsenal well on top here. Those shots from Mariona Manuman and Caitlin Ford to skim it past the face of goal. The Gunners looking to maintain their unbeaten run under interim boss Renee Sleggers 2. It's Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 0.
What a spell she's had coming in to take charge of. The Kings of England used to be crowned. Let's go to Arsenal against Villa and Emily Herbert.
It's Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 0. Arsenal well on top here. Those shots from Mariona Manum and Caitlin Ford to skim it past the face of goal. The Gunners looking to maintain their unbeaten run under interim boss Renee Sleggers 2. It's Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 0.
What a spell she's had coming in to take charge of Arsenal. Absolutely superb for them. Unbeaten, as we just heard. Fulham 1, Arsenal 0 here. We've had 32 minutes. And there's been a hectic pace about the game, little bit harum-scarum at times.
Yeah, there has been. Fulham haven't been able to get out on their build. They haven't been able to play through the towards, but how they have been able to get out at times is by Leno missing out the 5 or 6 players that committed to the press and going straight into Jimenez.
That's a lovely ball through to Emil Smith-Rowe, but it didn't stick with him. It was really well played. Lukic through the middle. Smith-Rowe had timed his run, but it came back off his boot. Couldn't bring it under control. And now Trossard has it for Arsenal to Odegaard on their right-hand side. Fulham threatening there.
Yeah, it was a half an opportunity to at least maybe get in and get a shot in, and he just didn't control it. We haven't seen Smith-Rowe too much, and that's mainly obviously, I think we knew this before the game that Arsenal would dominate possession and territory. It's been a disciplined performance from him, but maybe not one where we've been able to see his kind of technical ability showing through.
Arsenal trailing by a goal to 0. In possession with Partey, 5 yards in from this near touchline. Virtually on the halfway line. To his left is Saliba. One more pass brings in Declan Rice. Rice energetically pours through that inside left channel. Then wide to Trossard. Again, little push passing movements here from Arsenal. 1 touch and a 2-3 yard pass. Saliba takes more than 1 touch. Now he finds Kirill to his left. What's on for him? Great Fulham defending in terms of shape is on for him, so he has to pause. Nothing on.
If you look at the shape and you look how it is, Iwobi's almost playing as a wing back stroke full back. It looks like they've got 5 at the back at times because he's looking after Trossard. So it's difficult for Arsenal to break through so many.
Andy broke off there because there was a dangerous ball aimed in it to Havertz, and it was just deflected back to the goalkeeper by Diop. We've got a goal at Kings Meadow for Becky Ives.
Yeah, Chelsea have got themselves ahead just on 35 minutes. Vicar captain, it was actually a follow-up. The initial shot was saved on the line by the Brighton defender. However, Vicar was just there to tap it home from close range. Chelsea 1, Brighton 0.
Chelsea, the machine in women's football. And new manager has just continued wherever Hayes left off. Iwobi tries a big diagonal from the right touchline in front of that big cantilever stand. A little bit misty rain in front of it. Looks like a very, very fine veil of misty rain. We're under protection here under the excuse me, the low roof of the Johnny Haynes stand. The Archibald Leach design stand it was. If you know your football history, you know he designed many a stadium. He had roles at the old Huddersfield ground, I believe, and Arsenal's the old Highbury ground. And it's Arsenal in possession now with Partey to the right touchline. Saka has it with his white boots on. Back to Partey. Little bit of a lob through here to Havertz, trying to squeeze between the 2 defenders. And Diop dovetailed in behind Bassey. Good defending as a pair.
Yeah, they done well. They seemed to run in behind. They both got pace and power, so they were able to mop that up.
Jorginho just nearly on the edge of the penalty. Didn't realise that Jimenez was behind him. Jimenez fed in the heart of the midfield Berger, and he turns it to the right hand side. And Iwobi, and now Fulham making progress into the Arsenal half as they lead by a goal to 0. Try and double it, and his low cross is thundered away on the half volley by Big Kirill.
Yeah, it was a good breakaway from Fulham there. Sanderberg done really, really well. He got a free out, and Declan Rice had to recover to make sure that he was there with Iwobi. Iwobi's final ball into the box may be lacking a little bit, but it's got these Fulham fans kind of going again. They've really stuck with the team, considering they haven't really had much to go off in terms of possession.
Leno found Bassey dangerously inside his own penalty. He was quickly pressed but couldn't get out of it, and now Jimenez heads back then to Traore. Not a good pass from him. Gave possession away. Against a team like Arsenal, you could pay for mistakes like that. 36 minutes played. Saka for Arsenal, trailed by a goal to 0. Dances inside his man. Continues beyond Bassey. Gets a low cross in. Leno parries, and Robinson's attempted clearance deflects of his own player, and it's going to be a corner kick, and we'll go to Leicester City. Leicester at home to Bournemouth, and Leicester home to Brighton, I beg your pardon, Charlie Slater.
37 on the clock, Leicester 0, Brighton 1, and it's a beauty from Tariq Lamptey on the right wing, touches it onto his left foot, and from the moment it left his boot, it was only ever going to do one thing, and that's nestle in the far top corner of the net. Leicester 0, Brighton 1.
Abu Dhabi Grand Prix has been won by Lando Norris. More details at half-time here. McLaren have secured the Constructors' Championship. As a consequence, you can get reaction now on Sports Extra. But Lando Norris has won in Abu Dhabi. It's going to be a corner kick here for Arsenal. I think it's their 4th corner kick of the game. Now, will it be more productive? I wonder. Saka goes to take. The referee's had a little word in there with who? Saliba at the far post, and Robinson, who's come to defend the near, because they know the charge is coming from 5 Arsenal players beyond that far post. Partey's one of them. Havertz comes in from a deeper angle. In comes that corner kick. It's well met and well defended back there by Big Diop, who headed away. Giant of a man is the Fulham defender. Almost back to the halfway line. Rice, last man back for Arsenal. Diagonal pass to the right touchline. Saka with Robinson not diving in, holding his position and deflecting Saka's ball and away for a throw-in. The noise is so loud here, I could hardly hear where I was being told to go. Net WSL, Arsenal against the Aston Villa. Emily Herbert.
Yeah, well, Arsenal double their lead. It's Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 0. It was a crossed-in ball from Caitlin Ford. Marnham kicked it hit the post, but Beth Mead was there to whack it home. It's Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 0.
And her frustrations this season, Beth Mead, so that'll do her the world of good. It comes across from Saka into the penalty area, and Rice flung himself at it. Couldn't quite stretch Declan Rice, and the ball squeezed away for a goal kick. Another one of these big Arsenal players at 6'1", Declan Rice. Couldn't quite get her though.
Yeah, for the majority of this game, Robinson has been brilliant against Saka. He's marshalled them. He's been close to him. He stopped them turning. He stopped them going 1v1. He's blocked them when he's tried to do 1-2s. That time he's let him come in on his left foot. And he's with the great ball in that could have nicked in at the back post. You see Declan Rice steaming in there. He's somebody who can really get into the box with a lot of pace and power.
I think his long run as a USA first choice player has really helped Anthony Robinson. He's one shy of 50 caps for them now. He's massively improved for me over the last 12 months. You were talking about Calvin Bassey eradicating his mistakes earlier on. Robinson is another one, I think, Andy, who's just cut out those mistakes.
Yeah, he has, and what he is, he's a massive threat going forward with his pace, and we see him here trying to play a 1-2 around Partey. He gets on the end of it as well.
Gets to the dead ball line, in comes the cross. Kyrgios glances it out, clears the danger. Let's go to Chelsea's Kingsmeadow. It's Chelsea against Brighton and WSL and Becky Ives.
Chelsea 2, Brighton 0, and it's Aggie Beeper-Jones with the second, just putting pressure on the Brighton goalkeeper, Sophie Bagley, forced her into the mistake, and she's not going to score an easier tap in from closer range. It is Chelsea 2, Brighton 0.
Manchester City cruising it against Leicester. Manchester United beat Liverpool by 4 goals to 0 in the WSL earlier, and as we've just heard as well, Arsenal need Villa by 2 goals to 0 in the Premier League. Brighton are 1-0 up at Leicester. That deserving right back with the speedy legs, Tariq Lamptey scoring for them, and Ipswich are 1-0 up at home to Bournemouth. Chaplin getting that one. Later on we've got Tottenham against Chelsea coming your way. Lando Norris won the Grand Prix as well. Rangers won at Ross County in Scotland earlier in the day. You're up to date on 5 Live from the BBC. Here's Odegaard, little jink, little, not a Cruyff turn, but a little flick, a little delicate flick, found his teammate, but the Partey return ball eventually cut out easily by Leno with his lime green, I think it is, goalkeeping garb with little red patches on it, and he'll go and clear it away. And rolls it, well, he rolls it again into Bassi inside that penalty area. That's the tactic they've been using throughout the game. Can be a little bit dangerous at times, Andy, but not there.
Yeah, the reason why I'm kind of suggesting that they see the Fulham fans are not happy with a decision here that the referee has given. They think it was their throw-in. But if you look at the amount of men that Arsenal are creating to the press, it's become so difficult for Fulham to play through the lines. But what there is, there's a massive gap in and around the centre circle where the referee is to just play it straight into Raul Jimenez's chest to give the Fulham players an opportunity to get up and try and support, just to try and get them a little bit of territory in this game.
Great passion for the Fulham fans all around us. They were howling when they didn't get the throw. They want a free kick now for Saliba, holding on to Raul Jimenez, and you can hear the reaction as the referee finally gives Fulham a free kick. They're standing Standing ovation for the referee. One decision. Just inside the Arsenal half, 42 minutes gone, 1-0.
But again, it's just happened there, what we were speaking about, where Leno misses out the midfield. It's a lovely little ball that he plays into Jimenez's chest. He kind of gets hold of it a little bit. He's fighting Saliba, and he ends up getting a free kick, and Fulham have got up the pitch a little bit.
Given place, I once commentated here when they were at the foot of the old 4th division. It was a midweek night. As I'll tell you that story in a minute, as Arsenal have to defend on their right-hand side. Iwobi has it. On the right-hand side, he's got Kenny Tete in support. Tete is there then, in off that right. Where's the support for him? He has to backtrack 10 or 15 yards before he finds just inside the Arsenal half Bassi now. To the right-hand side, got another goal at Kings Meadow for Becky Ives.
And it's gone to Brighton. Chelsea 2, Brighton 1. Jelena Kankovic with a shot let fly for the centre of the box, and it went bang, top bins. Left-footed shot, and it's a goal that they deserve, it has to say. Chelsea 2, Brighton 1.
So I was here that day working with Leroy Rossignol, Tony Gale and Bobby Moore, 3 generations of Fulham players who wanted to sort of run the rule on Fulham and why they were bottom of the league. There was no one here. The Fulham goalkeeper's had a nightmare away to our right-hand side, and he was criticised by the big 3 who was commentating next to me. As he's come off, Andy, he has to walk right in front of our position, and he shouted up, he said, "I can hear every blooming word you're saying about me."
Yeah, it's an incredible place, and you know, if you look at the commentary position where we're here, we've got the fans sat literally on the row right behind us. It's brilliant. It's really good. The atmosphere has been incredible. You can probably hear that. You know, people at home watching this or in their cars watching. You can hear the incredible atmosphere that's generated here, and they've had something to cheer about in that Jimenez goal, which was absolutely fantastic.
Fulham 1, Arsenal 0. We're just about to enter the last minute of the first 45. There will be a scant stoppage time. I don't think we've had a stoppage. We've had no VAR. We've had no cautions. Berger wins it back after a dawdling Trossard took his eye off the ball. Iwobi again misplaces the pass. They're adventurous with some of their passes, a little bit too adventurous. How about this? Diop striding out from the back. He's already halfway inside the Arsenal half, finds the right touchline, comes in from Smith Rowe to Iwobi. He dances across the pitch, looking in for Jimenez. Arsenal now the team defending with every man behind the ball. Odegaard's the furthest forward player as he closes down now on Lukic. And Lukic to his right-hand side finds Bassi, tall Bassi. And straggling behind him, and it's in towards Berger, who initially lost it, then won it back with a really good challenge. It's left Odegaard on the ground and riding him down. And then Saka fouls his man. It's a free kick here to Fulham. The referee Chris Kavanagh will just check on Odegaard, who's down away to our right-hand side. We have 1 minute of stoppage time to play. Might be a little bit more if Odegaard needs treatment here. This is a worry for Arsenal. He's holding his left ankle.
Yeah, it comes from Berger. He takes a bit of a sloppy touch, and they kind of get in and around him, the Arsenal players. But he ends up making what's a good tackle. He makes contact with the ball, but he gets maybe a tiny little bit of Odegaard through. Nothing sinister in it at all. Don't think it was a free kick. Sometimes them ones can be a little bit awkward. Really good period this for Fulham. The last maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and one they've needed. They defended their own box and in and around the box really, really well. So to have a little bit of territory and a tiny little bit of possession leading up to half-time is kind of, I'd say, it's music to Marco Silva's ears, because I'm sure that he's been worried. Although they have looked pretty secure. They've looked pretty confident in defending in and around their own box.
Mikel Arteta looks concerned about his captain. He's on his feet now and limping away. His season's been restricted to 9 games. You remember he picked up that ankle injury back in September on international duty against Austria, I think it was. In comes the free kick for Fulham then, taken by Lukic, way deep on the far side of the penalty area. All of a sudden, Issa Diop got behind the Arsenal defence, chopped his cross shot, whatever it was, way behind, goal kick.
Yeah, that went miles over, that did. It went miles over. But, I think Arsenal, if we're to look at the performance overall, they've got a lot of territory, a lot of possession. They're probably just being a bit one-paced. Everything is kind of one pace. It's slow, it's possession-based. They haven't changed the pace enough. They haven't been able to kind of go from keeping that ball to then up in the pace and up in the speed and the tempo. They just haven't done it well enough.
Big chance here for them to close the gap on Liverpool at the top, but they're They're not picking up the script. Arsenal, they trail by a goal to nil at half-time in Menez with that goal. It's a fantastic goal, Steve, with the diagonal delivery that blasted away beyond David Raya into the far corner there. Arsenal had so much possession. They've had 3 efforts, but I don't think Bertmano's had a shot to save. And that last effort, Steve Crossman, with the one that Diop blasted over the bar, I've been shown videos of you on a Tuesday. Very, very reminiscent.
Well, I am actually Andy Reid, more of a fullback, and I wish I could play like Robinson. My goodness me, what a half he had.
Yeah, no, he's been brilliant. And if Fulham are going to get any kind of result here today, he's going to have an incredible game, because that is where Arsenal's danger is. Out on that right-hand side where they've got Saka out wide, they've got Odegaard just inside, Havertz comes across to create an extra number. And even at times you see Declan Rice coming across to make another number there. Then you've got Partey backing her up from behind. So there's a lot of bodies over there. There's a lot of real quality in that area. And I think Robinson has stood up to it really, really well. He would like to, I'm sure, step forward a little bit more, but the one time that he did, Saka ended up getting a shot on from it. So really, really good performance from him, and I think a really good performance from Fulham in terms of the shape, the discipline, how they've kept their concentration, and you know, it's difficult to say they deserve a 1-0 lead, because I think they've only had 2 touches or something like that in Arsenal's box. But for shape, for concentration, how they've gone about it, the numbers they've got behind the ball, they've done the job really, really well.
Yeah, great first half for Fulham, who lead Arsenal by a goal to nil. Second half commentary, of course, will be on 5 Live. We've got 3 live games ongoing for you. You can listen to commentary of all of them. Half-time on the BBC Sport website in the game between Leicester and Brighton. Charlie Slater.
Leicester 0, Brighton 1. The visitors deservedly in front. Tariq Lamptey lit up the King Power in the 37th minute when he cut in off of the right wing and with his left foot found the far top corner of the net. Leicester only threatened right at the end of the half when James Justin drew a good save out of Brighton keeper Bart Verbruggen from a header, but there is definitely work to do for Ruud and his players, while Brighton go in 5th as it stands. Leicester 0, Brighton 1.
What about Ipswich Bournemouth, Aaron Paul?
Ipswich 1, Bournemouth 0, entertaining end-to-end, but Bournemouth will wonder how they're not level. The deadlock broken through Connor Chaplin, sweeping home on the half volley, left-footed just off the penalty spot after a great ball from Cameron Burgess. Burgess was then the hero at the other end, timing his tackle perfectly, with Justin Cliver bearing down on goal, stopping a certain goal. Marcus Tavernier has seen a shot bounce off the post. Bournemouth thought they should have had a penalty. Manager Anthony Iraola booked for his protest, but the home side will be satisfied with their work. They're still high risk, but are just tempering things when they need to. Kieran McKenna sprinting down the touchline at the sound of the referee's whistle at the break. His side lead Bournemouth by a goal to nil.
If it would say that Ipswich would move to 1 point behind Leicester, and that is the split either side of the relegation zone. Leicester 17th, Ipswich 18th. Into the Women's Super League, the Chelsea train rolls on. Becky Ives.
It does, but they're in a good battle here this afternoon against Brighton. Currently 2-1 up at half-time. It took half an hour to break the deadlock. Nusken actually took the shot on from the centre of the box. It was cleared off the line by the Brighton keeper, and then followed in on the tap-in by Vicar captain, but it has been credited as a Nusken goal. Aggie Beaver-Jones added a second, some pressure to Sophie Bagley in the Brighton goal. Forced her into a mistake, and she tapped the ball in from very close range, but Brighton did not give up. Just 3 minutes later, Jelenka Konkovic, against her former side, a left-footed shot let fly into the top corner, and I have to say they've deserved that goal. They've had some clear-cut chances from Nikita Paris, just haven't hit the target. But yeah, at the minute, at the break, 2-1 to Chelsea.
What about Arsenal Aston Villa, Emily Herbert?
Well, Arsenal lead by 2 goals to nil at the break. The first was a lovely work free kick from Cooney Cross, about 12 yards out from the left of the penalty area, dinked into the box, and it was Alessia Russo to leap the highest to head it home. Beth Mead got the second, tapped in from close range after Marnham hit the post. And if the Gunners keep this scoreline, they'll go 8 games unbeaten under interim boss Renee Slegers. And makes you wonder, will she get the job permanently? Half-time, it's Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 0.
Yeah, if it stays like that, Arsenal will move up to 3rd on 18 points. Chelsea, the league leaders, on their way as it stands to 9 wins from 9 and 27. And sandwiched in between are going to be Manchester City, who are 4-0 up in their game against Leicester City. They're in stoppage time there. They would be moving up to 22 points. Earlier, it finished Manchester United 4, Liverpool 0. Lots to come, including our first trip of the afternoon to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs-Chelsea in full on Premier League Sunday at 4:30. We'll be there after the news on 5 Live with Alison Hughes.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve.
A curfew has come into force in the Syrian capital Damascus after the fall of President Assad. Armed rebel groups seized Syria's three largest cities after carrying out a surprise offensive, bringing to an end decades of brutal and authoritarian rule. Russia's foreign ministry says Bashar al-Assad has been flown out of the country. Crowds have been celebrating in the capital city. Some people have been seen looting the presidential residence. Our correspondent Lena Sinjab has been in the main Umayyad Square in Damascus.
There is a chaotic scene of mixed feelings of joy. We've seen lots of rebels here coming from different parts, mainly from the southern Syria, but we've seen also cars with plates from Idlib and Aleppo, possibly rebels arriving from the north as well. I spoke to people and people are really excited. I spoke to one woman who was in tears. Most of her family were dead, were killed inside prison, but she's saying this is a great moment.
Crowds of refugees that fled the Syrian civil war have been gathering at border crossings, hoping to return home. In a message broadcast on Syrian state television, the insurgents said they'd freed political prisoners from the country's notorious Sednaya jail. Ahmed Helmi was detained and tortured by al-Assad's regime before being released 7 years ago. He now works as a human rights activist.
I can't even start to describe how I feel, like the roller coaster of emotion, that moment of freedom, you see it on the people's face. I have been there. I spent 3 years in prison waiting for that moment when they opened the doors, but I've never felt as free as today.
World leaders are reacting with caution. The United Arab Emirates says it's very worried by the risk the country may succumb to extremism and terrorism. A Pentagon official said the US would take measures to prevent a resurgence of the Islamic State group. Alistair Burt, a former Minister of State for the Middle East, says it's not clear what will happen next.
I think, as so often, the sensible thing to do is to hope for the best and do whatever we can to encourage the sort of pluralist outcome that many in Syria will want, but be aware that the worst could also happen, because that has been the experience of the region, and again do all we can to try and avoid that.
And if you want to keep across this developing story, look at the BBC News website or click on the live news link on BBC Sounds. In other news, President Zelensky has given a rare update on Ukrainian military casualties, saying 43,000 people have been killed since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. Donald Trump had earlier claimed the figure was 400,000. And strong winds are causing disruption across the UK this afternoon after Storm Dara left hundreds of thousands of homes without power yesterday. The Met Office says gusts of up to 70 miles an hour are still possible.
On Radio 4, the more you listen, the more you see.
Hello, I'm Andrew Hunter-Murray, host of The Naked Week, a brand new comedy where you'll probably find this kind of thing.
Nigel Farage got into a punch-up with a womble.
On the moon?
Don't be ridiculous, Duncan, there are no wombles on the moon.
And this sort of thing.
ULEZ. It's made Sadiq Khan London's most unpopular mayor since Dick Whittington charged his cat 12 quid to enter its own litter tray.
So join me as we go behind the headlines with unexpected guests and much satirical silliness. The Naked Week. Listen on Radio 4 and BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
And the full-time whistle has gone at Manchester City in the Women's Super League. Mike Minay.
Yeah, Manchester City 4, Leicester City 0. Comfortable afternoon for the Blues. Two headers in the first half from Bunny Shaw had them in control. In the second half, flashing shots from Park and Fowler sealed it off. Leicester weren't expected to do much. The problem is when they got into the box, they ranked lowest in the WSL for shots taken. You can see why. Really poor in their decision-making in the final third. Gareth Taylor makes it 72 WSL wins, the joint second most in the competition's history, level with his predecessor Nick Cushing. Manchester City 4, Leicester City 0.
Just got a statement to bring you from West Ham United before we do anything else. West Ham can confirm that Mikel Antonio has undergone surgery on a lower limb fracture following a road traffic accident on Saturday afternoon. Mikel will continue to be monitored in hospital over the coming days. Everyone at the club wishes Mikel a speedy recovery and wishes to express its sincere gratitude to the football family at large for the overwhelming support shown since yesterday's news, as well as extending a heartfelt thank you to the emergency services and first responders who attended to Mikhail in the immediate aftermath of the incident, and the medical team who continue to aid him in his recovery. I'm sure everybody listening would echo that. They also say the club will provide further updates when appropriate. The 2024 Formula One season has finished in Abu Dhabi in the last hour. Of course, we already knew that Max Verstappen would win the Drivers' Championship, but the Constructors' title came down to the final race.
A win tonight at the final race of the season for Lando Norris and McLaren seals them as the Formula One Constructors World Champions in 2024.
It's a round of applause all round in the pit lane. Hugs between Ferrari and McLaren. A respectful fight, an honest fight between four drivers, two at the front, two trying to get back from tough positions today. And in the end, Norris won it.
We did it, mate. We did it. World champions. Well done.
Papaya on top.
Congrats, everyone. Incredible. Well done, everyone. So proud of you all. You all deserve this. Thank you so much. It's been a special year. Next year's going to be my year too.
Lando Norris at the end there. You also heard our co-commentator, former F1 driver Jolyon Palmer. And Jolyon, that obviously is the question now as I watch footage of Zak Brown lifting the trophy in the McLaren garage, just surrounded by their engineers in papaya orange. They are going to enjoy this, and they're going to think, next year, why can't we win it all?
Exactly. They came...
Former F.
Malumbi starts on his comeback from injury. Johnston and Styles also come in. We're just underway and it's goalless.
Thank you very much, Sarah. A reminder, if you weren't listening earlier, Manchester United sporting director Dan Ashworth has left his role after just 5 months. A United statement said the decision was by mutual agreement. They said, we'd like to thank Dan for his work and support during a transitional period for the club and wish him well for the future. We've got full commentary at 4:30 of Tottenham versus Chelsea in the Premier League. Correspondent John Murray is there. John, there's an awful lot of scrutiny on one manager in particular today.
Yeah, well, there is on Ange Postecoglou after what happened at Bournemouth on Thursday night. But I have to say, I think this is a match that has got many of the ingredients that anyone wants when they come to watch a football match, because it's really, really unpredictable. You know, are we going to see a reaction from Tottenham? Are Chelsea going to continue? I mean, they come here brimming with confidence, having won their last 4 matches in all competitions, and obviously they have an opportunity here to move closer to Liverpool, and historically have got a very, very good record against Tottenham. But I think going back to Ange Postecoglou, Steve, interesting to hear what he says in the programme today, the match programme, because very often in these circumstances it would be, I'm writing these notes before the game at Bournemouth. In actual fact, he hasn't. They've been written since Bournemouth. And Ange Postecoglou says in his column here, we were nowhere near good enough on Thursday night. He said, we lost our way, allowed Bournemouth to play the game they wanted to. And he says, although we had our moments in the second half, we were unable to score. Everyone came away disappointed. But he then says, we know that you go to great lengths to support the team, and our performances have to reflect and reward that commitment. So that is why I'm going to be wanting to see what sort of reaction there is from Tottenham today.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. Thank you, John. Full focus on that game once we're done with the 2 o'clock games in the Premier League. In the WSL live scores, Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2, Brighton 1, and West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 2 full-time scores from earlier. Manchester United 4, Liverpool 0, Manchester City 4, Leicester 0, and Tottenham 2, Everton 1. Remember, you can listen to commentary of all 3 games underway in the Premier League. The second halves are about to start. Leicester versus Brighton and Ipswich versus Bournemouth you'll be able to find on the BBC Sport website and app. Here on 5 Live, a lot of work to do for Arsenal at Fulham. Andy Reid is with Jonathan Pearce.
Thanks very much, Steve. How to get us up and underway are Fulham. Emil Smith-Rowe jiggles up and down on the halfway line before releasing back to Diop. Here comes a big up and under to the right-hand touchline. Fulham kicking then from left to right, away from the Putney end, the river end. The Thames goes behind the giant riverside stand opposite us. From the top of that, you can see it's a wonderful view. Right across London, you can see the Shard and the big wheel and House of Parliament and Westminster Cathedral, Westminster Abbey, all across there. And the fans on that far side just regaining their seats, with Fulham leading by a goal to 0. Let me run you through the 2 lineups once again then, before we really get going. Bernd Leno in goal for Fulham. Back four, Tete, Diop, Bassi and Robinson. The midfield holders, Berg and Lukic, who've worked really hard together. Then you've got Iwobi, Smith-Rowe and Traoré, with Raúl Jiménez up front through the middle. And Arsenal with David Raya beaten by the Jiménez cross shot to give Fulham the lead. In goal, Partey, playing right back today, Saliba and Kiwior and Timber the back four. Then you've got Rice and Jorginho, with Odegaard, the free role, the captain in midfield, operating mainly off the right-hand side. Saka, Havertz and Trossard. And Trossard's not really got into the game at all. He's in possession now as he rolls it back to the tall figure of Kiwior. To his right-hand side is Saliba. What do they need to do, both teams here in the second half, in your opinion, Andy?
Well, I think from a Fulham perspective, it's more of the same. You know, I think they've been reasonably comfortable, although, you know, Arsenal have had plenty of possession and territory. Hasn't been a load of chances, and Fulham look quite comfortable at times. So they'll be happy enough with more of the same. Arsenal, I just feel they need to up the tempo at times. You know, it's really difficult to play with a full high tempo for 90 minutes, and they keep possession and they keep it really well. But at times they just need to up the tempo. It needs to be a sharp change. It might be a run in behind, might be a 1-2.
Here they come, Arsenal. Saka right side of the penalty area. Lap power as he tried to cut it back to the supporting runner there, Odegaard, and Fulham clear away to Jimenez deep inside his own half. Takes the return from Traoré. Was he fouled over there? He was. The assistant referee flags, and the referee sees that flag of is it Simon Long on that far side? No, it's not. It's Darren Cann on that far side, and gives the free kick to Fulham.
He does a great job for the team, Jimenez. You know, I think he's a really popular player. When you mentioned in the first half the really tough time he had when he had his head injury, and it's great to see him back there. But I think his selflessness in his runs that he makes, in where he is for the team. I mean, you see him back, he's almost in his own defensive third there, and you don't always want to see him there, but at times that's needed when you're playing against one of the top teams, and he does a brilliant. He's got a great work ethic, and he's obviously got a lot of quality by that goal that he scored in the first half.
It was a really good finish to give Fulham the lead. And here's Iwobi as they attack down the right-hand side. Iwobi, he's had a change of shirt at half-time at Iwobi, as he takes on the fullback Timber, who got a deflection off the Fulham man, appeals for the throw and gets it to the hoots of derision from the Fulham fans at the Hammersmith end. And it's going to be a throw then that Arsenal will take, with Jurgen Timber. Versatile player, can play either side of the defence, nominally right-footed of course, and his stronger position is the right-back position, back to the right foot as he hooks the clearance up towards the halfway line, looking for Havertz, who took a tumble under pressure from Diop. It's Diop who now has possession for Fulham, just inside the Arsenal half. And to his left-hand side is Traoré. Traoré to Robinson, the left-back. Robinson down that line. He's beaten Partey very, very easily. Has a look, drills in the cross. And David came and got it.
Yeah, he done brilliant there, did Robinson. Went on the outside of Partey, whipped a really good ball in. He was wanting Jimenez just to get across the front of the keeper, and he was just a little bit too late.
Bassi was a little bit too quick for Havertz, and a chase on the far side from us, and Havertz nudged him from behind. And it's a free kick that Fulham will take. On the question of Robinson, we mentioned at the end of that first half that he's cut out a lot of his mistakes. 49 caps for the USA, hasn't missed a minute of the league, and this is his 48th league game in a row this season.
You know, and the Fulham fans won't probably, you know, thank me for this, but we were talking before about players that could potentially step up and play, you know, one of the, you know, the big five clubs in the Premier League, or the big six, I suppose. And I think that he's one of them. He's got all the qualities. He's got that elite level pace. I think his defending has really, really improved. I think he's a real threat going forward. And in a team that would probably dominate possession, like an Arsenal or, you know, or a Tottenham or a Chelsea, he could be one of the ones that could be a real asset for them going forward.
A card there, brandished for the challenge, I think, by Lukic on. It was a yellow card for Lukic as he brought his man down. We'll go to the WSL again, and Chelsea against Brighton. Becky Ives.
It's Chelsea 3, Brighton 1. I have to say, it's been a lively opening to this second half. Brighton had a shot on it, saved by Hannah Hampson, went up the other end, and right in Kennyard managed to put the ball in the back of the net after a deflection off of Lucy Bronze. Chelsea 3, Brighton 1.
Both Manchester clubs won 4-0 earlier on. Manchester United against Liverpool, Manchester City against Leicester. It's a free kick here then for our.
It's been a lively opening to this second half. Brighton had a shot on it, saved by Hannah Hampson, went up the other end, and right in Kennyard managed to put the ball in the back of the net after a deflection off of Lucy Bronze. Chelsea 3, Brighton 1.
Both Manchester clubs won 4-0 earlier on. Manchester United against Liverpool, Manchester City against Leicester. It's a free kick here then for our.
Havertz wins the
Looking at this, Andy, I think he's offside.
It wasn't defended. You see, Fulham they're all lined up in and around that front post, expecting now to come in. Havertz wins the force header, and Saliba gets touch. I wonder if that might be offside.
Oh, it was Havertz with the downward header. Saliba was the final touch, and looking at it, it's gone to VAR. And looking at this, Andy, I think he's offside. Or is the defender's leg playing him off?
Very close. It's close. I think the defender's leg might be just playing him on from the video that we've seen, but it's difficult to see from the angle. It's tight.
A great header from Havertz coming in, but I wonder if it was going in anywhere. No, it's going to go wide, so Saliba needed the little touch. The VAR is looking at it now. It's John Brooks.
It must be tight if it's taken so long.
Who's that defender playing him on? Is that Lukic at the back there playing him on? Can't quite see, but
Lukic's body is behind him, but I think it's his leg. It's his left leg that's sticking out there. Might make it tighter than it seemed.
With the naked eye, your first look at it is he's offside. Then you glance at that leg, and well, the fans are making it very, very noticeable what they think of VAR. Possible offside.
It's onside.
Stabbed in. Goal given. Saliba with another one. And it's 1-1.
The variety in the set pieces is really good, though. You know, if you see the amount of Fulham players that have congregated in that front post area, expecting that near post corner, and it's gone to the back post. There was a free header for Havertz at the back post, and they just couldn't adjust then, Fulham.
Havertz was completely in the clear. Saliba was in the mix, and just was played onside. 1-1. Great raw one up for the Arsenal fans for the second time. As the game completely turned. Fulham have not had an effort on goal since the Jimenez goal right at the start of the game. Here's Saka. Arsenal with the charge on now. On 5 live, 1 apiece. Don't forget that Brighton lead at Leicester 1-0 and Ipswich is still 1 up against Bournemouth, and Arsenal on the attack. Ball into the penalty.
Back, because I'd imagine that they're going to be under a bit of pressure now for the next few minutes.
Rice pounding down the left, arms pumping, trapped there by Iwobi, and he deflects it off Bergen. Great run by Rice. Let's go to Ipswich against Bournemouth. The Narren Paul.
Ipswich on Bournemouth nil. The home side very much on the back foot. They're going to have to do a lot of defending in this second half. Bournemouth with 3 permanent forwards, right just lurking by the halfway line. Lewis Cook has seen a shot narrowly just fired over. Ipswich on Bournemouth nil.
Saka with a cross to the far post, just eluded the leap of Declan Rice, but they're making inroads now into the Fulham half. It's 1-1 here at Craven Cottage. Let's go to Leicester against Brighton and Charlie Slater.
Thank God in the second half, Leicester 0, Brighton 1, but far better from Leicester in these early stages here. Jamie Vardy's had a chance, well blocked, went behind, still 1-0 to Brighton.
Fulham will take a goal kick, and Bernd Leno will take this goal kick at his leisure, just to calm things down a little bit, slow the game down.
Yeah, they have to, because you know, we mentioned tempo in the second half, and they need to change. They need to stem the tide here.
Gio Jimenez has just turned effortlessly away from Kiwior to bring Traore into the play. Robinson on the overlap with a low slash him across into the penalty area. This away by the Arsenal defence towards the halfway line. Havertz has battled hard to win a throw-in. Taken quickly to Saka. He's got men to his left-hand side. One of them here now is in possession. It's Timber. Timber to the left of the penalty area. Trossard's got a yard of space. Checks back in on his right foot. And the low rubber of a shot is easily dealt with by Bernd Leno. He wanted to come back in on his right-hand side. I wonder if he could have gone the other way.
Yeah, but you know, when you look at him playing, he always wants to check back in on that on that right foot. He wants to get back inside. It was a decent enough touch, and when he did check him back inside, he just couldn't connect with the ball to get enough pace on it.
Right-footed player off the left-hand side. And Trossard, who cost £21 million from Brighton, coming up a couple of years ago now. It was a January move, and he's done very well for Arsenal with his 23 goals in his 71 games. It's going to be a Arsenal buzzing run forward now off the right by Odegaard, in towards Havertz. Havertz just to his left is Declan Rice. Here is Trossard again. Trossard now for the Arsenal. Off the left-hand touchline, challenged by Tete. This is what the Fulham fans think of it. They're on their feet, expressing their distaste for the referee's decision. Chris Kavanagh. It's great sitting amongst the supporters. It really takes me back here.
I think it was a free kick, you know. I think he's just overstretched a little bit. Tete might have got a little bit on the ball, but had to go through the man to get there. Arsenal have a real spring in their step at the moment. There's a real good tempo and enthusiasm to the play there. Maybe we didn't see so much in the first half.
Odegaard will take this left-footed. 5 yards in from the near right-hand touchline. He's about 12-15 yards outside the Fulham penalty area. Odegaard left-footed into the box. Havertz Rose got something on it. It's a goal kick. Headed well wide then from it.
But if you look at what they do from the free kick, it's a decent enough delivery, but they all come from the back post, and then they place themselves then by the time the ball arrives in front of a Fulham defender, all them Arsenal attackers, and there's a line of them there. They got good contact on it, but not enough to trouble the goal.
Looks as if Fulham are going to make a couple of substitutions, and I think that Andreas Pereira will be one of them, certainly, to come on in a few moments' time. Martinelli, meanwhile, is about to come on for Arsenal, who attack down the left. It's Trossard who would have seen Martinelli warming up. Arsenal got a problem. Someone's down. In comes across from Martinelli, from Trossard back to him, cleared back to him. And a great block challenge by Tete gives Fulham a goal kick. You could feel that challenge from up here. He actually rocked into that block challenge, and it's a goal kick, and we'll go to the Hawthorns. West Bromwich Albion against Sheffield United and Sarah Mulkerrins.
17 minutes gone, goalless between the sides, but it's all been about the hosts. They've been peppering the Sheffield United box with crosses and chances from corners. Nothing doing yet, but they are on top. It's West Brom 0, Sheffield United 0.
Rather predictable Arsenal substitution just shy of the hour. Martinelli for Trossard, like for like. Found it difficult to get into the game, Trossard, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's not been his best game. But I think what it shows is the strength and depth that Arsenal have here, you know. Martinelli just at a time where Arsenal feel like they're, you know, they've been in the ascendancy for most of the game, but where they're starting to make inroads, they're starting to create chances. You know, Kenny Tete is probably looking now and going, oh, I don't fancy coming up against Martinelli. It's a real test for him. So it just shows the strength and depth. But Fulham have some good changes that they're making here as well.
Bringing on Harry Wilson and Andreas Pereira. Smith Rowe has gone off, trudged off, looked a little bit dispirited. Hasn't had a great game against his former club, hasn't been able really to influence the game, and Traore likewise flitted in and out.
Yeah, listen, he's worked hard, he's been disciplined, but Fulham haven't had enough of the ball for him to really influence the game in any kind of you know, attacking way, or get in and around the box and kind of do anything. So he just hasn't been able to get into the game in possession.
Martinelli's first touch, and Sanderberg whips the ball off his toes and gives Arsenal a throw in. Fulham fans furious because they're trying to steal a few yards down this right-hand side. Pereira, by the way, it's unusual to see him not starting again. He started 44 of the last 46 league games. Well, the Manchester one this season has come on, and Harry Wilson has been in decent scoring form of late. He's got 3 goals now from midfield. He's been in good scoring form for Wales as well. Scored another one recently against Iceland, and can pop up with vital goals as Arsenal lose possession. With Bassi snapping into a challenge. It's 1-1, lobbed forward by Jorginho to the right corner of the penalty area now. Havertz keeps it in play. Back it comes into Saka, has a little look. Odegaard is to the edge of the penalty. And can pop up with vital goals as Arsenal Odegaard into the box. Havertz spins, gets a shot away, no power on it, goal kick.
Yeah, it's that area.
And at some point, Felix and Gusto, all substitutes.
They were terrific in the week down at St Mirren. Southampton were hapless at best in that game. It's interesting that Mickey van der Ven is back for Tottenham Hotspur. It makes a massive difference to them.
Yeah, you know it does. You look at the possibilities with the injuries that they've got, for him to come back in, you know, with his pace. It's really good. That's going to be a cracking game. You know, I think with the players on show, it's going to be a cracker.
Saliba's misplaced the ball, cut out by the excellent Robinson, who lifts it through the middle. Look at Jimenez chasing off after it, forcing Raya to come out, fly hack it deep into Fulham territory. Raul Jimenez has not stopped working. He's leading the line alone. He's a big difference between the teams at times, but it's 1-1, and you'd have to say at the moment, Andy Reid, that the game looks heading Arsenal's way. If there's going to be a winner, you think at the moment it would be the Arsenal?
Yeah, it looks that way on territory and possession and just the tempo. They've really upped the tempo. You know, they're combining really well in and around the box. All the good top players are starting to come into the game more. You know, there's some really good combinations between Saka and Odegaard that we knew. Declan Rice is coming into the game a little bit more, and Jorginho is just starting to quicken up his play when the ball comes back out. So it's leaning towards that way. But listen, you know, in football, we've seen it in the first half. A goal can come out of nothing, and Jimenez has been excellent today. So, you know, wouldn't be writing Fulham off just yet.
1-1 it is. Fulham were the last team to beat Arsenal in a London derby, actually. They've won 7 of their last 8 derbies. They lost to Fulham on New Year's Eve. Last year, and then it's going to be a throw to Arsenal on the far side. We've had 64 minutes and it's one apiece. And Arsenal now have it with Jorginho trundling into the Fulham half, having a look hither and thither. Timber's 5 yards to his right hand side, side puts it back. Timber, one of these modern players with the low socks rolled down. So centre-halves player in the week with those low socks and well, scant shin guards, which was a worry I would have thought for centre-halves. Anyway, maybe I'm just old school, Andy. I don't know. Here's Rice anyway.
Well, the old school managers wouldn't be having that, would they?
Oh, Rice, that's a lovely ball in towards Havertz. Didn't stick, mainly I think because he was good cover again by Robinson, but Fulham do not clear it away very well. Arsenal pick up possession again.
Had a chance to get 1v1.
Well, how about that for a ball from Jimenez facing his own, deep inside his own half. He pivots and he swung it out to Iwobi, who was being pulled back by Partey. Should have been a free kick for Arsenal. The referee initially said, I'll wait and see if he's gained advantage. Can't, and he's blown his whistle for a free kick for Fulham. But I think he heard the crowd absolutely roaring their disdain. Then he blew his whistle.
But you know, it was a pretty obvious free kick. I think what he was trying to do in it is maybe a little bit in his defence. He was trying to let the play flow. He's seen that there was no advantage to Fulham, so he's brought back. But that was incredible play by Raul Jimenez. He's been brilliant today. He really has.
He was pulled back there in a sort of Mick McManus, Jackie Pallo, was it? Wrestling move, if you know your old wrestlers, probably before your time, Andy. But it was a wrestling move that pulled him back. Mick McManus, gosh, where have I pulled that one from? Going to be a free kick from Pereira into the penalty area, headed away by Saliba, just to the edge of the box. Rice completes the clearance of the big hooked volley. Underneath it here was Robinson with the plopped header that deflected actually off Martinelli. Arsenal have kept it in play. They're inside their own half. It's 1-1 with 67.5 minutes gone. We're midway through the second half, then on 5 Live with Tottenham against Chelsea still to come for you from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Then a big week of European football. And Jorginho on the ball for Arsenal. Ball under his right foot in control. To Partey. 10 yards backward of square is Saliba, and on it goes to Kirill. Still no Gabriel. There was a suggestion that he might be back a little bit earlier than expected, but it's going to be a while. I think it's going to be longer for Ben White, clearly.
You know, I think Kirill does a decent job when he steps in, but you know, when Gabriel and Saliba are there, it's probably the best partnership in the league.
Martinelli for Arsenal, approaching the Fulham penalty, tries to squeeze between two, Wilson and Tete. Got the deflection of Harry Wilson, I think it was. It's going to be a corner here for Arsenal, which always causes anxiety for other clubs. 23 goals now from this sort of set piece, as I said, since the start of last season.
There's just a feeling that's around the ground. There's like a hush that goes around the ground when Arsenal get a corner, and you know, it was at West Ham last week, and it was a similar feeling. When they get a corner, the place just goes quiet. There's almost a bit of expectation.
Here comes the Arsenal corner kick. Declan Rice will take it. There's the huddle of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players beyond the far post. Iwobi's just gone back in there to plug a gap. He's been detailed to watch Saliba. They'll charge across towards this near post. A little bit of blocking, a little bit of bunching towards the far post. It goes. It's a downward header that's wide. Partey squeezed between defenders, headed it wide. Given the fact he had a fair takeoff, given the fact he wasn't greatly marked, should have hit the target, shouldn't he?
He should have scored, there's no doubt about it at all. It was a brilliant delivery, very, very similar to delivery for the goal where it went to the back post area. Partey, nobody marking him, it was a good leap, he got good contact on it, he just headed it the wrong side of the post.
Well, we've lost our TV replay machines here in the press box, low down in the Johnny Hay stand. So we couldn't tell you how close that was. What we can tell you, we'll go to Arsenal against Aston Villa in the WSL, and Emily Herbert.
Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 0. It's a lovely work team goal, played out from the back from Arsenal, and Stina Blackstenius can mark her 100th appearance for the Gunners with a goal from close range. 70 minutes in, it's Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 0.
And Chelsea Brighton, Becky Ives.
Oh, it's on here. It's Chelsea 3, Brighton 2. Kiko Seiki. Chelsea trying to play out from the back, caught in possession. Kiko Seiki just smacks it right back into the Brighton goal. Chelsea 3, Brighton 2.
Brighton really investing in women's football, getting behind the women's team, and it's paying off. They've surprised a fair few this season, haven't they? Timber for Arsenal here in the Premier League on 5 Live to the left-hand side of the Fulham penalty area. Taps it to Martinelli, gets a good cross towards the far post. Saka was there at the far post, well defended by Robinson. The header carries out, 10, 15 yards outside the box. Saliba's got in possession. And now Berger will release Pereira on that left. And Mikel Arteta is saying to his players, get back in numbers, because Pereira here with a dangerous running shot. And it's blocked by the legs of Rea. Good counter-attack in there from Fulham.
Yeah, it was a brilliant ball by Sander Berg. He played it first time as it kind of bobbled a little bit. It was a lovely ball. And Pereira, I think he looked around and thought, there's nobody else up with me. I need to go myself. He's gone on his left foot. It was a good save by Rea. But it just goes to show you that Arsenal can't afford to switch off. Fulham are a dangerous team.
It's the first effort on goal since they scored in the 11th minute. They've conceded a free kick here, Fulham. And there's going to be a card for Robinson, I think it is, for conceding that free kick. As we watch again, the chance TVs are back on, and we watch that chance at the other end.
You do get chances against Arsenal if you can break really quickly, because they commit their fullbacks forward or sometimes into the middle of the pitch. So if you can win it back quickly, you can get into them wide areas. And that's what they've done there.
Basu got the yellow card for Fulham for the challenge on Havertz. It gives Arsenal this free kick. Rice is on the far side to take it. He turns round as instruction from that Arsenal dugout, packed Arsenal dugout. There are so many turquoise-clad, tracksuited coaching members in there. How they all fit in, I don't know.
I think they're all set-piece coaches.
How many? He used to be the manager, the assistant manager, and the physio. That was it. Chairman and the club secretary. That was all you had. In comes the free kick from Rice in the penalty area, headed away by Diop. Little overhead by Martinelli, looks for Partey, and this should be defended by Kenny Tati. He'll tuck it down the line to Jimenez. Jimenez pressurised by Martinelli, spins to his left. And Martinelli, little clip of a challenge, and Raul Jimenez goes down like a falling tree, and it's a free kick.
Oh, it's Panther season soon, isn't it? He must be getting ready for that. It was theatrical, to say the least.
He's behind you.
Yeah. But he done his job. He won a free kick, and he buys Fulham a little bit of relief from this pressure that they're under.
Here comes substitutions. Why we make the most of them. Let's go to Ipswich and Aaron Paul.
Ipswich 1, Bournemouth 0. The hosts still leading through Connor Chapman's first half strike, and they've come very close to a second. Liam Delap feeding Sammy Schmodix in on the right-hand side. Schmodix with a rasping drive, beaten away by Kepa. Delap couldn't quite get hold of the rebound. Bournemouth have had loads of possession, but their front men, well, they look like they've run out of a bit of steam. Ryan Christie with their best chance, well head by Aro Muric. As Schmodix go for a shot again, it is Ipswich 1, Bournemouth 0.
On come Marino, on comes Jesus, off goes Havertz, off goes Jorginho here. We'll go off to The King Power, Leicester against Brighton. Charlie Slater.
Where Brighton continue to lead by 1-0. Leicester flew out of the traps in the early stages of the second half, but Brighton have blunted their attack somewhat since. They've made their changes. Ruud van Nistelrooy has brought on Mavididi, difficult over Reed, and Oliver Skip. But as it stands, Brighton look like they're going to be coming out of here with all 3 points. Leicester 0, Brighton 1.
And they'll keep up the pressure on the top 4 sides. Arsenal have this opportunity to go to 31 points, 4 off Liverpool with a win here, but they're being frustrated by a Fulham side who again can be just outside that top 4, could climb up to level 5th on points. I think it is today. Well, that was the way before the Brighton scoreline anyway. It's 1-1 here with 16 minutes to go. So the big question, can Arsenal get all 3, or will Fulham surprise them again? Because we just have 1 or 2 reminders, as Andrew Reid was telling you, that Fulham can still be in this as a goal-scoring threat.
Yeah, you know, you think that there'll be a chance or 2 for Arsenal. Will they be able to take or not remains to be seen. But like I said, you can't rule Fulham out. They've been really good at what they've done today. They've put in a really good team performance.
Marino for Arsenal, a summer signing, misplaces his pass, and Fulham will clear it away. Rice coming together there with Jimenez, who should be sort of bounced off it. And it comes back to Declan Rice with the white boots and the short sleeve shirt and the muddied shirt as well. Out then towards Trossard on the left-hand side, angles back to Rice. A couple of yards of space closed by Berger. Hasn't he? Works out. There's a lovely ball in the penalty area, but it just slipped away from Gabriel Jesus, who couldn't react quickly enough and through to the goalkeeper it goes.
Yeah, he was watching it as it was coming over his shoulder, and I don't think he was sure whether he should take a touch or play a first time. But there's a swirling wind out there, and when Declan Rice lifted it, I wonder if it moved a little bit, which made it difficult for him to kind of manoeuvre, or difficult for him to get a touch when it came over his shoulder.
Seemed to find it hard judging the drop of the ball as it went through to Bernd Lehner.
It's a difficult skill, anyway, with the ball coming over his shoulder, to pull it down or to get a first-time contact on it.
What do you do with Gabriel Jesus? Works prodigiously, only the 1 goal for him this season. He's only had 2 league starts. Last season he had the hamstring problems, didn't he? As Fulham clear over the halfway line. People say Arsenal need 20-goal number 9. He's on this left-hand side, Martinelli, who does weigh in with his goal. So take on Tete. Eyes glued to the ball, Tete. Good full-back position here from a good body position. And he's helped out as well by Pereira to stop the cross coming in. Well played, Kenny Tete there, I think. Now Martinelli strokes it into the box. Tete had switched off momentarily. The cross was looking for Odegaard from Liverpool back in there by Timber. And Fulham will clear. And Saliba's got a chase on here with Jimenez. Jimenez is getting back at him and worrying him and nagging him. And Saliba wins that battle down the line at 1-1 with 13 and a half minutes to go, and Martinelli flies now, and Tete again, good positional sense, good body shape from the fullback, and Fulham will clear it away with Harry Wilson.
Well, both Fulham's fullbacks so far this afternoon have been brilliant. You know, Robinson on the left and Kenny Tete is defending there, and they're getting backed up really well. If you look around the far side there, you're seeing Iwobi is backing up his fullback, and on this side Harry Wilson and Pereira is helping out as well. So, you know, really good defending, really good teamwork as well.
Very well coached side, aren't they, Fulham? Really well coached.
Yeah, but Marco Silva is a good coach. We know that. We've seen it with all his teams. He sets them up well. They know how to defend. They know how to attack. They're good in transitions.
Here's Martinelli with a cross into the penalty area. Headed away back there by Bassi. Comes to Rice with a shot. And Leno sprawls to his left and takes it very well. We'll go to the Hawthorns again. West Bromwich Albion, Sheffield United. Sarah McKellens.
The visitors are level. It's West Brom 1, Sheffield United 1. A defensive mix-up, a scramble in front of the box. And Callum was there to poke it home through the keeper's legs. It is West Brom 1, Sheffield United 1.
First came across Sarah, a women's champion, I think it might have been World Cup Canada or Euros in the Netherlands in 2015 or 2017. She never stopped working. She always seemed to be working. And she's up at the Hawthorns today working hard with that 1-1. And it's going to be a throw to Arsenal down below us, and it's going to be taken by Ewan Timber. It's going to be another Arsenal change. Odegaard is going off, protecting him really, you would think, because of those problems. And on for Arsenal will come Ethan Waneri, who's this brilliantly talented 17-year-old who's scored 4 goals already this season. He's only had the one start, I think it was, but on he comes, Nwaneri. Got another goal for Sarah back there at the Hawthorns, I believe.
Working hard, Jonathan. It is West Brom 1, Sheffield United 2. The West Brom fans can't believe the capitulation they have seen in defence in the last few minutes. This another defensive mix-up for the hosts. And this time it's Tyrese Campbell who is able to score. It's West Brom 1, Sheffield United 2.
Change here, great ovation, really loud ovation for Raul Jimenez, who goes off. He scored that Fulham goal early in the game, and he is replaced by Rodrigo Muniz, who's had to be patient. He's played second fiddle to Jimenez, and he's on here now, broad-shouldered, short sleeve, gloves on, as the late afternoon draws into a dusky early evening, it would seem here. Wintry day on the banks of the Thames. 1-1. Good game of football in terms of pace to the action, although lack of quality perhaps in the final third.
Yeah, I think the tempo in the second half has been better. I think Arsenal have really upped the tempo, and they made Fulham walk a lot harder than they did in the first half. So there's a feel to it. The crowd have come right along with the game, which has made it. You can hear them singing now. It was a brilliant ovation for Jimenez as he's gone off, and he deserved it as well. He was incredible today.
Goal at Leicester for Charlie Slater.
Where Brighton have doubled their lead. Leicester 0, Brighton 2. 10 minutes remaining. Jakub Minter, who is rapid, sprints away from the Leicester defence, twists, turns, does it again, and then fires low past the goalkeeper. Leicester 0, Brighton 2.
When Minty gets running, gets moving, it's very difficult to stop him, and that will be a good victory, having lost here, of course, at Fulham. Brighton. Arsenal have possession, chasing the win. Fulham, with their industry today, no, they haven't really threatened the Arsenal goal too many times, just the two of us on that Arsenal goal, both on target, by the way, but they worked so doggedly to stay in this game.
I think when you play against the top teams, and Arsenal are a top team, they've got some brilliant players, you have to stick together as a team. You have to stick to the job. You have to concentrate. You can't switch off for a second. And, other than the goal that they scored from a set piece, they've been really, really good at doing that.
Arsenal win the ball back. Jesus, it was dispossessed Berger. The Fulham fans think it was a foul. I don't think it was. Rice to the left-hand side of the penalty. Martinelli pulls it in. It's blocked by Berger, and it's eventually cleared. Or it's blocked by Lukic, rather. Eventually cleared by Berger. Those two have worked so hard in their throw to Fulham.
Yeah, they've been tireless in there. What they have done really well, they haven't just done their own job. We mentioned what it's like playing against one of these top teams. You have to do two jobs. And that's the other side of the job. You have to be prepared to help out your centre-backs, to help out your full-backs. And them two boys in the middle of the park, they've been brilliant. The walk rate has been incredible.
Martinelli's just got a really cheap yellow card. It's a throw-in, for goodness sake, halfway inside the Fulham half. The decision didn't go his way. He bounced the ball down truculently. The referee has to give him a yellow card. Fulham fans loved it. How at Martinelli. And it's going to be a Fulham throw. Just a silly, cheap yellow there.
Yeah, but I think we could see that it was a Fulham throw as well, wasn't it?
Muniz turns, tries to find Wilson. Lovely, lovely recovering challenge by Timber. But the referee will pull it back for the original challenge on Rodrigo Muniz. It's great fun here being amongst the fans. 5 live position. We've got supporters just literally right behind us and just in front of us as well. And every decision that goes Fulham's way, well, it's met gloriously by huge cheers. And we've got, 7.5 minutes to go. It'd be great to be in the company of Andy Reid as well. And it's going to be a free kick here that Fulham will take with Pereira looking across the far side of the penalty. Muniz is there, Diop is up, Bassi now joining him. Arsenal with everyone back. It curls into that penalty area and it's headed away from inside his own box back there for Arsenal. Just edged away. Marino it was, who did a good job back there for Arsenal. Given away here though by Robinson to Saka. Saka being pursued by Iwobi, who's pulling back at him once and then nibbles in again. Was persistent, was tenacious. Arsenal have a throw in on that right-hand side. 1-1.
Yeah, Robinson made a mistake there, but the desire to get back in from Iwobi, and you see this Fulham side, it's been a really workman-like performance from them. They want to help out each other. They look really together as a team.
Alex Iwobi massively improved over the last 12-18 months or so. As we were saying earlier on the programme, we saw that improvement coming at Everton, but he's really blossomed here now. Nwaneri for Arsenal. no fear, chases into the Fulham half, finds on that far side, Saka, little nudge ball back to Partey, and it comes looking from Ranieri. And Bassi just stuck out a leg, and Robinson cleared it away towards the halfway line, stays at 1-1. Rice chasing back into his own half, pursued by Pereira, looks for Raya, takes a touch to the right-hand corner of the penalty area, and rolls it out on the angle towards Saliba, checks inside Muniz. Strokes the pass to Partey, back to the goalkeeper, well played Arsenal.
It was great composure to play out there, really, really good composure. Fulham tried to press, but they couldn't really get close to Arsenal there, really good play.
All this with the rain cascading down on the banks of the Thames. And it's a run here for Martinelli, down this left-hand side, between the touchline and the penalty area. Checks, goes again, Wilson is in front of him, Martinelli darts beyond him, lovely cross, attempted, but Leno comes, uses all his height, the big man at 6'2", stretched, gathers, drops on the floor, and will take a couple of seconds.
It's so good for the outfield players when somebody goes the outside, a cross comes into the box and the keeper just comes and claims it, you know, just takes the pressure off and relieves everybody in the ground can take a sigh, you know, take a deep breath.
A huge relief for Ipswich if they can beat Bournemouth. Chaplin early goal, and Minte and Lamptey for Brighton have given them the edge at Leicester, it would seem, and we still have Tottenham against Chelsea to come for you, and all those midweek Champions League games as well. It's a yellow card. Who's that for on that far? Iwobi, is it? Or was it?
I think it was for Robinson coming through the back of Saka there. He just barged into the back of him. He didn't let him settle. Just came straight through the back of him there.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially a little bit harsh. Just you know, I don't know if it's a yellow card.
Not every foul is a yellow. That's not a yellow for me. He caught him, but he almost seemed to be as if he was going down, anticipating the contact.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. But it's a dangerous position now where the free kick is. We've seen Declan Rice just feed one in between the back line and the keeper earlier on in the second half, and I'd imagine that's what he's going to be looking to do again.
Andy Reid never played for a free kick in that sort of way, I can tell you.
I did, because I like taking them, you see.
Rice will take this free kick for Arsenal on the right. Left hand raised high. There they charge him from left to right. One of them is Saliba. It's aimed towards him. Overstruck actually, and he Tete just pulled his head away in the last moment, so there wasn't a deflection. It's going to be a throw to Fulham, deep down by the dead ball line on their right hand side. 4 minutes to play on 5 Live. 1-1 it is. Sorry, Andy.
I was just about to say, Ranieri hasn't really had the chance to get into the game yet, but I am really looking forward to see how this young lad develops. I think he's got an incredible amount of ability and an incredible future ahead of him. He looks so composed. He's got all the physical attributes that you need to be a top player.
His debut when he was 15. Here's Wilson spinning the ball into the Arsenal half down the line. Raya's come all the way across here to this touchline to balloon it back forward into the Fulham half, where Timber challenged, where it's brought under control by Jesus. Little back heel then, and on it goes from Big Marina, and on by Saliba in the centre circle. Partey on the angle to the right touchline. Saka back in field it comes. Ranieri is waiting in a little gap over there to see if he can get possession, but Saliba comes left instead at 1-1. Kiwior, hair plastered over his forehead in the rain, to Jesus with the orange boots on down below. Tries to flip the ball down the line to Timber. That's a stonking challenge by Harry Wilson. Stonking challenge. Leicester, we got goal is for Charlie Slater.
Well, Leicester are back in this with less than 4 minutes remaining. Jamie Vardy, who else? Di Cordova-Reid has a long-range effort which is deflected straight into Vardy's path. First time into the bottom corner. Leicester 1, Brighton 2.
Here's the big comeback on there for Leicester. 2-0 down they were. Can they get something out of the game? It would be precious for them. Now here's Timber for Arsenal, halfway inside the Fulham half. 10 yards in from the left-hand touchline. Out it goes to Martinelli. Martinelli to run into the box. Wilson backs away, hooks that cross in. Oh, it's a dangerous cross. Arsenal truly have got it now. Saka arriving at the far post, heads it beyond the goalkeeper, but all the work was done by Martinelli. Classic wing play, beautiful cross to the far post, and Saka was all alone to head Arsenal into a 2-1 lead with 2 minutes and counting to go.
Well, the two wingers combining, and probably the one time that Tete has let Martinelli come back in on his right foot, and he clips one to the back post. There wasn't an awful amount of pace on it, but Saka's arriving, and it's an easy header from must have been 3, maybe 4 yards out. He heads into that bottom corner. And it's such a shame this for Fulham, because they have defended really, really well. And the two fullbacks have been absolutely incredible, and it's them two that unfortunately, in this case for them, have not been able to defend it.
It was a lovely piece of wing play, wasn't it, by Martinelli, though?
It's brilliant. It's great to see that. You know, it really is. You want them to, you know, to have the options going inside, outside. There's their VAR check.
On Martinelli on the left-hand side as the ball is played out wide to him. I think this is going to be really tight, Andy.
I think he's okay. I think he's okay. I think Calvin Bassey, or potentially even Robinson on this side, is playing him on.
Yeah, we can just see on the VAR screen Robinson coming into the pitch. It's very, 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 very tight, but it looks as if Robinson, as you say, Bassey in the middle, could be Robinson for me playing him on. There was an Arsenal player in an offside position but not interfering, not being active.
Both of the goals, if this is given, both of them will have been very, very tight on these VAR checks, and you know, unlucky for Fulham. But is it offside?
Well, we can't hear the VAR. We can see a picture of it. It's offside. It's offside. And the Fulham fans cheer. Martinelli's cross. He was in an offside position, I think. He looks a little bit bemused by it. Mikel Arteta was applauding for some reason. We've got news from Ipswich against Bournemouth. Aaron Paul.
Body blow for Ipswich 1, Bournemouth 1. Enes Ünal has fired in the most unlikely of equalisers. Dango Ouattara popped in down the left-hand side into the box. I don't know what Aaron Muric, the goalkeeper, was doing. He's rushed out to meet Ouattara. Ouattara just lobbing the ball over the goalkeeper. It seemed like Cameron Burgess was going to scramble it away, but he scrambled it onto the head of Ünal, and he's just knocked it in for the equaliser. Ipswich 1, Bournemouth 1.
Listen to the cacophonous din of Craven Cottage. Sasa Lukic is going off for Fulham. They're going to make a change here. What have you made of his performance, Andy?
Yeah, I think he's been really good. Not in terms of getting on the ball and playing, because they haven't had too much possession, and you know, we know that, and we probably knew that before the game. But in terms of work, in terms of discipline, him and Berg in the middle of the park, they've been really, really good, you know, and I think that's been reflected in the reception that he's got going off. This Craven Cottage crowd have recognised that.
So a late change for Fulham. The man they brought on is Jorge Cuenca. Let's go to Leicester against Brighton. Another goal, Charlie Slater.
Well, Leicester have made it 2-2. 2 goals in the space of 4.5 minutes. It falls to Jamie Vardy inside the penalty area in space. But just when you think he'll score, he puts it on a play for Bobby De Cordova-Reid, who slots home. It's Leicester 2, Brighton 2.
Brighton fans will be sick with that. Leicester fans will be delirious. Chelsea, Brighton in the WSL for Becky Ives.
Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. Millie Bright just on 90 minutes, scoring from a corner at the near post. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2.
I think there are more goals than Millie Bright. I don't think she gets enough, really. Really wholehearted player. Been terrific for Chelsea, been brilliant for England, Millie Bright. And it's going to be a free kick here for Arsenal between the left touchline and the penalty area. Martinelli will want to take it. All his work for that was likely to be a winning goal came to nothing with the offside decision. Can they win it here late on, Andy Reid?
Yeah, it's a good position to put a ball into the box, and Declan Rice's delivery more often than not over the past few months has been on the money. He'll just feed it in there, you know, just on the inside of the defenders. You're going to see these Arsenal players coming from towards the back post and getting in between the Fulham defenders.
Rice will take it in the penalty area. Martinelli stands hands on Jesus, trying to get into position behind him. Fulham with all back in a long line, marking zonally. In comes that free kick. He's not on the money there. this time. No one really in a position to attack it. It's away for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was overhit. Probably a ball won by his standards. You know, I've played here quite a few times. I've come here as a coach, and I've commentated here a couple of times as well. And I have to say, this is the best atmosphere that I've experienced here at Craven Cottage. I don't know whether maybe it's because I'm in amongst the crowd or whatever it is, but it's been really, really good to see these Fulham fans get behind their team this afternoon.
26,954 biggest crowd of the season at Craven Cottage. And there's going to be a goal kick to Fulham, and we played 3.5 minutes of the 5 minutes of stoppage time. Aim to the left-hand side. Muniz headed it on towards Iwobi. Saliba was there, and Arsenal have to settle for a point. I see this 2 points lost, I think, in the chase for the time. Kiwiora's miskick. Muniz puts him under pressure, nods forward, and Declan Rice is behind to cover, and then sets sail down the Arsenal left. Strokes a pass to Martinelli, sucks in Tete. Tete deflects it out of play. It's a throw to Arsenal. Martinelli went to take it too quickly. Tete was trying to stop the throw being taken, but Martinelli rather truculently threw it too quickly, hit Tete on the back. He's protesting, the referee stopped it here. We'll have a word with both of them. He'll have a word with both of them. It was a little bit daft from both of them.
Yeah, and I didn't think there was too much in it. Tete has kind of initially gone towards the ball, but then he was running away, and as he was running away, Martinelli's thrown the ball at his back. And, you know, a little bit petulant from Martinelli, who's already been booked.
Martinelli been quicker thinking there. He could have thrown the ball against Tete's back, taken it, and rushed beyond Tete with a run, but he didn't.
Dean Saunders done that, I see, a few years ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Here's Saka. Saka now for Arsenal. Time dribbles away. 10 seconds of the 5 minutes of stoppage time left. This is a decent ball whipped out to the left. Martinelli, possibly the last attack of the game at 1-1. On 5 line, goes beyond Tete to the ball line. There's that sort of cross, but it's deeper. It's beyond the far post. Partey will try and keep it in play. Finds Saka. Saka into the penalty area. That's a lower cross into the near post. Leno flops forward on it. This will mean a huge amount here for Fulham. And it's been a good week for Fulham here at Craven Cottage. And then they get the week started with a draw at Tottenham. So they're finding their form here, Fulham, at this moment in time. 1 defeat in 7 league games. It'll be unbeaten in 9 London derbies for them. And they always prize a point or anything against Arsenal. We've had 5.5 minutes of stoppage time. Surely there can't be much longer left now. The ball is headed forward from Marina. Let's go back to Ipswich and Aaron Paul.
Smashing grab from Bournemouth, and it's Dango Ouattara at the back post who's stolen all 3 points. Van den Ierola's side, and Kieran McKenna just looks on. His side thought they'd wrap this one up, but it's Ipswich 1, Bournemouth 2 with seconds to play.
Bournemouth from behind. Leicester came from 2-0 down. It's 2-2 at the King Power against Brighton. What an afternoon we've had of goals for you. This has been unrelenting in terms of pace in this second half. Arsenal attacking, Fulham defending, but Rice has given it away, and Rice calls back on his man, and Rice will get a yellow. It's inside his own. It's inside the Fulham half as he pulled Berger down. Now Pereira tries to take a quick free kick, which is ridiculous, because Declan Rice was stood right next to him and was talking to the referee at the time. The referee yellows Declan Rice for the original pull, and it's all getting a little bit hot under the collar, Andy Rick.
Yeah, but it's brilliant. It's great, isn't it? You know, you see both teams want to win the game. You know, you see everybody on the front foot, everybody invested in a really, really good atmosphere here, as we've spoken about. The players, you know, obviously really invested in it on the pitch. It's been a really enthralling game, I have to say. There hasn't been a load of chances, but the tempo's been good. It's been really competitive. Arsenal dominated possession and territory. But Fulham, you've always felt that there might be something in them as well. So it's been a good game. It's one that I've really enjoyed, actually.
Not over yet. It's just got off the big screen, but moments ago, they're the explanation for the VAR decision to disallow the Saka goal. The full-time whistle blows at the King Power 2-2. The full-time whistle blows here at Craven Cottage 1-1. Hard-fought point for both Andy Reid. Fulham taking the lead in the 11th minute with Raul Jimenez, cross shot beyond Raya, lovely counter with beautiful ball through to him, and then the equaliser coming from William Saliba, edging over the line from a Havertz downward header. 1-1.
Yeah, I think Fulham have. It's a fantastic team performance from them. You know, they've concentrated, they've kept their shape, they've been really disciplined, restricted Arsenal to not a massive amount of chances. So, you know, really good from them, good performance, and they scored an excellent goal, which we should mention as well. From an Arsenal perspective, maybe dipped just below the standards that they've set for themselves over the last few weeks. Didn't quite have that cutting edge that they normally have. Although they dominated possession territory, didn't really create enough chances to go and win the game, and could have won it maybe towards the end with that offside goal that was really tight and disallowed by VAR. So they'll be disappointed not to get the 3 points, but you know, maybe when they look back on it, they might think, you know, it was an okay point in the end.
Linear decision, factual decision, offside is offside, and though they will curse their luck, they can only go away with 1 point. Arsenal. Interesting game here, Steve. Intriguing at times in the wet and the wind on the banks of the Thames, and I'm so gloriously happy for you that you were in the warm.
Listen, I would always take being at a football match, and not a bad one at all to be at, Andy. Fulham, good value.
Yeah, well, I think they were in terms of them, you know, as I said, keeping that discipline and keeping the shape. They didn't have an awful lot of chances. They didn't really have too much territory. But for discipline and, you know, for sticking together as a team, I think they probably deserve to get something